Because I've had a bunch of knives come in on the channel that surprised me, but I don't think that there have been many that really surprised me as much as this one. We're going to take a look at what I think is the biggest sleeper on the EDC market today. Let's turn this around and take a look at the Rosecraft Bara. Guys, like I said in the intro, this knife is probably one of the biggest surprises and one of the biggest sleepers on the knife market this year. This came to me from Rosecraft. This is the Rosecraft Bara designed by our friend Savannah Swags over at Rosecraft. And this knife performs so much better than I ever expected. Out of all the knives that they sent me from Rosecraft, I think this is the one that definitely stands out among the crowd. Now, I do have to say, you're going to notice that mine is currently missing the little multi-tool piece, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this knife comes in a bunch of different shapes. This is the final review, so we're going to look at some specs. I don't have an actual spec sheet, but I do have the specs here. So you're looking at a 3.4 inch AR-RPM 9 blade with drop point. It's got a pry tip cap lifter and hex wrench slot that also doubles as a bottle opener. It is a ambidextrous thumb stud opener, and it's got a liner lock. Now, this comes in a bunch of different colors. They have a red, I think there's a black, this blue, which typically I'm not a big fan of blue, but it definitely looks good on this knife. Overall length is 8.5 inches and closed length is 4.5 inches. That includes the pry tip. So without the pry tip, it's a little shorter. So this thing is awesome. You got an ambidextrous pocket clip and everything on this as well. So let's look at the actual showpiece on this, which is a very well done AR-RPM 9 blade that is not real broad, but it transitions down to a very nice, very nice cutting edge. This actually outperformed a lot of other knives when it came to cutting, because you've got this nice transition on this, and then the feel in hand with this swell here, it sits in a nice cut. I could see this being something, because this is called the Bara, which means that that's bartender in Spanish. So this could be something you could use at a bar, cutting olives, cutting, just cutting up little things at the bar, slices of lime, not olives, slices of lime, slices of lemon, things like that for in drinks. This thing is like a little paring knife, but it definitely does scream through materials. Liner lock on this, really good access to this. You've got really good access to it there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Thumb studs on it sit in a really good position. The action on this is another one of those knives. It's really hard to get it to fail. You don't even have to get your fingernail under it to reverse flick. Just put a little pressure on it. It flies open. You don't have to flip it. Just put a little pressure on it. We'll force it out of detent and it flies open. They didn't do any weight reduction on this, which is actually kind of a good thing. It gives it a different balance. Typically, I'm a tip forward balance kind of guy, but on this knife, it feels good having that little bit of weight in the back on this. Now, the G10 on this is done beautifully well. It's nice and clean looking, but it's not too polished. It's not too smooth. You still have a good bit of tactile grip on this. Like I said, with this swell here, it sits in your hand really well. It sits in a nice position and you can do a lot of cutting. I did a lot of kitchen tasks with this knife. It is a lot. I mean, it is a lot like a paring knife in that sense. Not only does it work really well as an EDC knife, you can use this for cutting potatoes, cutting apples, things like this. And the action on it is just absolutely buttery smooth. The bearings on this are so smooth. I did not take this apart except to take out the pry bar. So I didn't even change the lubricant on this. So that's still running on the original lubricant. And then not really a pop of color, but just a change in the lines. You've got your kind of satin hardware and then your blue scales with just kind of a blasted aluminum pivot collar on it. And the last thing I want to say is these pocket clips work really well on these knives. There is no hot spot on that. I don't like deep carry pocket clips a lot of times because they have a tendency to become a hot spot, but these coming down and then widening up, is a lot like some of the other pocket clips I really love. Let me show you what I'm talking about, which is the pocket clip on my Master Blaster. So it transitions and widens up, and it just seems to, you know, it seems to spread that little bit of force out across a wider area. So you're still getting a deep carry pocket clip, but it doesn't hotspot at all. And it's in a perfect position on this knife. Now, you can put this on if you want. The pry bar on it it's basically a pop top lifter for beers and a bottle opener with a little hex in here. I personally prefer it without. It makes it a little bit more comfortable in hand, but it wasn't super uncomfortable with it. So if you're looking for a nice, slender little knife that you could carry, this would be something I would say you can throw in your pack for a pairing knife, like a camp kitchen knife. So now there are a couple small negative things on this, and of course we do have to touch on those. So right after you guys hear from Coffee Brand Coffee, I'll point out the couple little negative things on it. Guys, you guys know I love coffee. I even have my own personalized coffee mug. But did you know that a lot of the coffee companies out there take a lot of the money that you give them that they should be throwing back into the company to make a better product and turn it into activism dollars? Coffee Brand Coffee does not do that. They take no stance politically any direction. They take all the money that they make and try to make a better product. So if you want to support this channel and a company that I absolutely do like the fact that they don't lean either direction politically, check out Coffee Brand Coffee. There's a link down below that will save you 5% at checkout, or you can use the coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, Crazy Sharp, all one word. They also have cold brew coffee, teas, and cocos, freshly ground and roasted to order. So check them out, support them, and support this channel. So the couple little negative things. The action and everything's great. I said you have ample access to the lock bar. The only problem I have with it is it's really tight in there, and they took that material off. I think if they had left that, instead of taking that material off and just maybe just chamfered just the very edge of it over, so you've got good access to it. But then when it's narrow like that, it just doesn't feel like I have good access to it. It's because it is narrow and I have big hands. Next thing, the plunge on it. You can see how the plunge transitions down, and it definitely does have already a smile on it. So it definitely does ramp up, and you can see there's a spot where it actually didn't even really get sharp from the factory. I will say, did not mention it, ARRPM 9 is a great steel because it responds really good to a strop. So it's a good choice on this. And then the final thing is, while the pocket clip is reversible, I wish they had just went ahead and put like a plate in there as a space holder with 2 more screws. You wouldn't have had this really rough spot there, which you can kind of feel it when you get your fingers on it. I can feel my finger in there, and it would have prevented that from getting dirt and grit and stuff down in there in the threads if you decide you want to reverse the pocket clip on this. Other than that, this thing has just been amazing. I love how easy it is to reverse flick off of this, and it's a unique look, and the blue absolutely looks brilliant on this. I'm not a big fan of blue knives or green knives. On this, the blue is just amazing. So that's pretty much it on this one, guys. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day.
Yeah, guys, this thing is absolutely amazing. And unfortunately, this iteration is going to, once they're sold out, they're not going to be any more of these, but they are redesigning and taking into account some of the things that I mentioned. So if you stuck around all the way to the end, you're getting a little bit of bonus information, because I'm not gonna lie, I filmed what you guys saw a while ago. Still had the long beard. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I have got the sponsor that we mentioned, Coffee Brand Coffee. There is a link below that takes you down to that website, and it is got a built-in coupon code. They've got a lot of sales going on for the summer. I also have got Tempered Trail. Nathan from over at Rat Bastard has started up that website. He's making kilties for boots. He's making hand-stitched wallets. He's got the best laces you're going to find, and there's more stuff coming to that website. I have got an Amazon store down below, guys. You can take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're going to do. It doesn't cost you anything extra at checkout, but it makes Jeff Bezos pay me, and you can do it in your pajamas. And I have got a membership down below. It's all tier-based. Everyone gets to hang out in the Gilded server. Everyone gets early access to videos when I post them. Everyone has access to exclusive content. Baseline and premium guys are entered into giveaways I do on the Gilded server and announced there, and the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series here that's behind that paywall here on YouTube. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you next time.